Hi guys, I'm Gabe,
I'm Ahmad.
and you are tuned in to Coog Cinema Reviews, here with our thoughts on Ready Player One.
This video is sponsored by Live Nation. Make sure you get your tickets today.
This is the Oasis, a whole virtual universe. You can do anything, be anyone, without going anywhere at all.
I'll say right off the bat, we know it's a Spielberg film. We're expecting a big budget. We're expecting great visuals. And I wasn't let down by the visuals in this film. What about you?
I was very pleased with the visuals, more than I thought, because in the trailers I thought all the CGI looked ugly. It was just not something I cared for, so I was actually very satisfied with the visuals in this. That doesn't go for every aspect of the movie, and we'll get into that, but visually it's solid.
My favorite thing visually would have to be the Oasis world. I like the distinction between the two. I also noticed there were like subtle differences, similarities in between the two. Like as far as the color scheme goes and the whole dystopian feel. Like the Oasis and I believe it was
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, they had similarities. Like they both had that grayish tinge to them. And I also noticed that the avatars for the two main characters, they weren't painfully similar to what the character looked like in real life.
Right.
But like the certain features, like the eyes or the nose, they had a little bit of similarities. So like, they tried to make the worlds vastly different, but they had little
Small
distinctions.
similarities,
That I could see.
On the note with the actors, it's funny because you spend so much time with these characters' avatars in the game that you end up kind of forgetting what they look like in real life.
Yeah, you kind of like favor the avatar more than the character.
Yeah, you just get so used to it that like when you're taken out of the Oasis, it's kind of jarring. You know, you kind of want to go back, which.
You kind of want to go back, yeah.
Which, I mean, granted, I can understand why the characters are so in love with this world, but as a viewer, the third act largely takes place outside of the Oasis, and that disconnect was there. And unfortunately, that made it hard for me to invest in what was going on. I guess we should move on to the storyline.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Interesting.
If you don't know, Ready Player One is about a series of video gamers who are looking for basically a hidden treasure within the Oasis, this sort of video game universe that they play that'll give them, I didn't exactly understand, it gives them like control of the Oasis. I don't know what that means.
They get control over it and, well, it'd be a spoiler, but you know how like at the end...
It was, but the problem with the storyline is that you have that simple premise and it just devolves into this, I think, convoluted mess. I was so not interested in what's going on by the third act. I'll be honest.
Honestly, I was kind of like turning on my phone trying to check the time throughout because there were low points. I felt like it could have picked up at certain points. There were definitely certain moments that we did not need.
No. Certain subplots we did not need.
Exactly. Yeah. It came to the point where when it ended and everything like paid off, I was kind of just like, well, finally, Jesus, like it took you guys so long to get here, and the little hints of cliche moments that were in it, it let me know how it was going to end.
For anyone who has seen a Spielberg film, you know that Spielberg feel, you know, that kind of sense of lighthearted gumption. And sometimes that can be charming, and other times it can just be disgusting, and at the end it really crosses that barrier.
I will say I wasn't too annoyed with the love interest feel of the whole, like the dynamic between Artemis and Wade. The dynamic between Artemis and Wade, it could get corny at times, but I was sticking to it. I was with it. It's almost as if all that $175 million budget, it kind of propelled the actors' performances and storylines because you're in such an in-depth universe and world. You kind of almost, I don't want to say forget about the importance of acting and storyline, but there's so much visually enticing you. You kind of get wrapped up in the world, and yeah.
Well, just quickly on that romance subplot, I didn't have a problem with it because I found the actress playing the love interest and just the character in general to be interesting, and I thought there were a lot of good performances throughout the film, but unfortunately they were either wasted on characters that were underdeveloped or they were poorly written with flimsy motivations. And the villain in this, a good performance, but has to be one of the stupidest characters I've seen in a long time.
I think I'd agree on that. It was almost like ripped from the headlines sort of thing, where like that big corporate asshole, like, hey, the villain is a corporate asshole, like, this is the villain, like, that's why you hate him. He's the guy who's controlling everything.
But it's not just that he's poorly written in that he's generic, which he is, but the character himself is so dumb and makes so many terrible decisions that I have no idea how he became to like be the head of this mega conglomerate, whatever it was.
Yeah, the IOI.
The IOI?
Yeah, internal or something. Hey,
whatever.
They kept referring it to as the IOI.
It's not a terrible film. If you enjoy 80s culture or video game culture, chances are you'll enjoy it. There are a lot of redeeming qualities. It just wore out on me, and by the end, I'll be honest, I really wanted it to just be over. So I can't sign off on it.
It was too much, yet not enough at certain times.
How poetic. What rating would you give it?
I would give it a solid 3 out of 5.
Okay. I will have to go lower and give it a 2 out of 5. Again, not terrible, and there are certainly worse things you could see.
Definitely.
But would I recommend it? Not unless you're just that hardcore into these kinds of topics.
I'd recommend it to anyone to give it a try.
Okay.
It's good enough to try, not amazing. And those are our thoughts.
I'm Gabe.
I'm Ahmad.
If you like this, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel or like our Facebook page.
Thanks for watching.